Now we look at the lightweight division, okay? And I want to say the fight the other day was a hell of a fight. Congratulations to the winner. He done his job. He went out there and did what he had to do. But if Devin Haney is the WBC champion at lightweight, right? And Gervonta Tank Davis is the WBA champion. Now, it's safe to say that TEOFIMO is the champion he's the champion, the IBF and the WBO champion. But I can't knock what he has done, because I have to take my hat off to him, you know, for what he has done. And then we talk about different fighters proving themselves. There's no different from Marquez. They're gonna say, oh, Mayweather was the bigger guy. Remember, at one particular time in 1996, before I went to when I was in the Olympics, I fought at 125 and a half. It's 125 and a half because it's 57 kilograms. So in that same year, I turned professional at 130. So we can't keep talking about guys, this guy is a small guy. To be the best, you must take risks, you must take chances, and if it takes going up in weight or going down in weight, that's the sport of boxing. That's how boxing works. One thing I'm gonna keep stressing to these fighters, just period. Everybody wanna know, how am I able to still live the life, you know, that I live? We can't just think about, and TEOFIMO the other day after the fight, he was like, he said something real. What I didn't do was, when I made my money, I ain't just go buy a car or buy a chain. It took me a while to learn the game. I didn't have a Floyd Mayweather. I wish I had a Floyd Mayweather. And it's another, you know, if I'd had a Floyd Mayweather, I would probably be in a lot better position than I'm in now, because I would know how to move a lot better when I was younger and knew smarter things to do. But Al Heyman, a great businessman. Leonard Ellaby, I must take my hat off to him and the whole Mayweather promotion staff, because, you know, while I'm out traveling the world having fun, they take care of the company and they're doing a great job doing that. So I must commend Mayweather Promotions for doing that. And one thing about us, what we do is we put fighters in a position to win titles, and we put fighters in position to make millions, you know. And when you look, even like our fighters that fight on PBC, if you look, when our fighters fight on PBC, we talk about the Nielsen ratings. When our guys fight on Fox, we don't go out there and talk about how many homes sometimes it's 4 million, sometimes it's 5 million. So we don't knock nobody for what they do. We just got to speak facts. And then there's another fighter out there that we don't talk about that deserves his just due. Andre Ward. We don't never talk about him, even though he retired undefeated. He beat a lot of good fighters, and we need to talk about him and give him his just due also. But the other night, when I seen that fight, just when I go back and look at that fight, I feel that it would have been a lot more exciting if Loma got started earlier. But at the end of the day, my thing is this. I think he could have been worried about the power. Now, you can't be worried about what nobody say on the outside. You know, you got to train. That's why Tank, we got him in the gym right now. We got Tank in the gym right now. So he trained because he expected many different looks. So many different looks. You don't know what Leo you may get. You may get a Leo that's on his toes boxing. Right. So that's why Tank has so many different looks in his training camp. But I take my hat off to all these fighters. You know, I had my day in the sport, and even like a lot of times when they was talking about comparing Loma to me, when you got I didn't have to have 500. I didn't have to have 500 amateur fights, and he done something that I wasn't able to do. Right. He was able to win 2 gold medals, which is a huge accomplishment. Right. Just to go to the Olympics is something huge in itself. And they said, well, guess what? He was the quickest to win a world title than any other fighter. Man, once you fight 300 amateur fights, you're a professional anyway. You're a professional anyway. And you cannot compare a fighter like Loma to me, or a fighter like Ali, or a fighter like Sugar Ray Leonard. You know the reason why? Because we won our first fight. We won our second fight. Right. We won our third fight. So I'm not going to take nothing from TEOFIMO for what he did the other day. But remember, this guy already had a loss to Salida, and Salida wasn't, quote unquote, the best guy in the world. Correct. He was solid, and he won a title before, but he wasn't the best guy in the world. Well,